I went to I went to college. I majored in high jumping for a year. I ran track, and
So high jump is not
that
pole
way.
vault. You're just
and I long jump, which is that way.
okay.
So I ran track for a year. And
No pole.
No pole. No. I
You could probably jump higher. I would.
with a pole you could. More people chasing you. So, dogs.
South side, right?
Dogs.
Is that what you're training? The long jump? You just have a couple dogs chase you and.
Yeah, we're gonna take you to an abandoned warehouse. So.
Welcome to another episode of Brothers, Battles and Bounty, where family, business, and your future success converge. This is Season 2, Episode 21. I am your host, Andreas.
I'm Stefan.
I'm Martin.
I'm Wally.
Wally's our special guest, and considering the accolades that he has, I'm going to have to read this because it's a lot to try to memorize. So with no...
Before you start, this episode is sponsored by Trendler Incorporated.
Nice. Very nice.
That's a good sponsor.
Yeah, reliable.
So here's the introduction. Some people work jobs. Others answer a calling. Today's guest is Wally Ayers. Did I pronounce that
That's right. Yeah.
Very nice. A lifelong artist, designer, and creative force whose work has shaped promotional and licensing products for some of the most iconic brands in America. From Anheuser-Busch, to Miller, Coors, Jack Daniels, to the NHL, major universities, Indian Motorcycle, Corvette, and Jimi Hendrix, to mention a few. Wally's designs have lived in man caves, game rooms, and homes for decades. Trained as a traditional artist in Chicago, Wally evolved with the industry, mastering digital design without losing the craftsman's soul that separates good work from great work. Today, he's bringing that same creative fire to C'est Cure Domes and Mirrors in Michigan. And when he's not designing, he's performing on stage as the frontman for the band. Otherwise known as Slim,
Stretch.
Hey
you.
you.
I am the third, by the way, so my family used to call me the turd. So,
Very nice.
very proud of that.
The first
Very proud of
seemed
that.
fitting, the last one not so fitting, but we'll be the judge after this, right?
Choose wisely.
He says he'll never retire because it's creative artwork, not a job.
It's not.
This is a conversation about creativity, reinvention, and doing work that matters. Please welcome Wally. Welcome, Wally. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, that was a very nice intro, too.
Yes,
So,
you know.
I'm not worthy in some cases, but I'll give
You know,
it
it's
a shot.
interesting as we get older, we realize just by existing, we accumulate quite an impressive portfolio of
When someone asks
accomplishments.
you shortly, tell us about yourself, then it's when you realize, wow, I've been doing this quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's kind of frightening.
Where do I start?
Yeah. As long as I can continue, that's my goal.
One of the interesting things about your background is I happen to be fascinated with the whole the idea and the work around creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is just it's like a mysterious, like muses communicate to you from other realms to give you this stuff, because a lot of creative artists, a lot of time, their genius, you look into it and you find it just came from somewhere. They were just like able to manifest it and get it, not to insinuate that's...
I was 3 years old. I can recall my first interest. I was always drawing, but I was 3 or 4 years old, and my grandmother was an old Irish woman, and she felt like I had I was talented.
Yeah.
So she would always buy me the best supplies. I was probably the first kid in my grammar school that had a kneaded eraser. Everybody else had the pink erasers with mine was the kneaded art eraser, and all the pencils without the erasers, and
Was the kneaded one with the pink on the one side,
no,
white on the other?
it's like a rubbery gray eraser, which art people would know what it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as a 4 or 5 year old having a kneaded eraser, it was kind of impressive. So I've always been interested in art. I always have drawn. I spent hours and hours, ironically, doing kind of promotional beer signs in my basement, just because I had the love of logos.
And beer?
And beer, allegedly in 8th grade. But so I've just kind of always had artwork in my mojo. You know, it's been my passion.
Yeah.
You know, and I never really looked at it as a job. You know, and
Love
people
it.
said, "Well, what are you going to do for a living?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to graduate." And they're like, "What's your major?" I'm like, "Well, I'm going to major in art." And they're like, "Well, what's your real major?" Because that whole starving artist thing always was sort of it's a stereotype. Because I got to say, I've made a good living in the arts over the years, and I found my niche, and that niche was. For years, I was doing catalogs and brochures, logo design, signs, etc., and all traditional. And then I just one day said, I need to get back. I need to reinvent myself, get into the computer world. I found a job on the south side of Chicago for a mirror manufacturer, Beco Manufacturing, right in the back of the yards. I took a job, way underpaid, but I learned on the job the computer.
Yeah.
And to make it more of a wonderful story, was they're a promotional mirror company. And it like dialed in what I was doing as a kid.
Wow.
So I said, it's it. And I've been doing it ever since.
So you have a couple.
Yeah,
Is there anyone that can show some of what you're
Well,
referring to?
this is a couple of pieces that I'm actually working for Secure Domes and Mirrors in Sturgis, Michigan. And we're not a glass mirror company, we're an acrylic mirror company. And we're kind of proud of the fact that our products are made in USA.
Oh, wow.
We have.
Let's just, what do we got?
This is Pepsi Cola. We actually are a licensee for Pepsi.
Oh, love it.
And,
that's a great.
Look at this.
Did you design that?
I did. Yeah, and this
burger?
is.
I'm actually getting hungry.
Tell
Look
the
at
story about this.
Well, this one here too is these are. This is in response to a licensed. There was an illustrator. I can't recall his name by now, but I created my own version of it. So these are my waiters. This actually represents a sign that a winery could put in their establishment. We also have standard ones that don't say, it's not personalized. But I've always been interested in marrying the illustration part of it to the actual design of things. And with with Secure, we can shape cut things and we form mirrors. You can see this is a dome. It's got a
That's really cool.
concave
Yeah.
thing in that. So finding this job with Secure has been kind of. It's enhanced my creativity because we don't have any parameters in terms of categories. We're designing for kids, home decor, game room, a line of Christmas stuff. We've got Americana products we're working on right now because we've got an anniversary coming up, I believe in June, 250 years. So we're putting together some things. And my ownership is very progressive when it comes to participating in humanity things, human things. I'm doing some stuff right now for human trafficking.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Awareness. And we're doing some mirrors, some designs, kind of pushing towards that. And part of our sales for 2026, we're going to be donating a percentage of our sales to humanitarian causes.
Wow,
particularly
that's
trafficking.
diverse. Yep.
So
it's more than just
these are
smoking-
fun
It's more than
things.
just smoke and mirrors.
But they're feel good. Yeah. Well, I saw what you did there. Yeah.
I was working on that for a while.
Keep me posted on that because
Yeah.
maybe something.
It's a
we would be
feel good
interested
thing too. And that's the thing about art. Art can be quiet in its own way, but it can be loud in its expression, and it doesn't have to say anything verbally. It can show you visually, like, hey, that's pretty incredible.
Powerful, yeah.
So it's been a way to kind of let my personality out, as well as helping companies.
Yeah. Love it.
And the goal.
So you emphasize what kind of first drew you to the art. It's kind of something you've been kind of embraced in. When did you realize it could be officially a career? I know you touched on it, but
Well,
was
my
there a
dad-
point that
My dad was a mechanical engineer and a very brilliant, smart guy, had patents and everything else. I tried to do some things for him, drafting and that, and I did some stuff for him, tried to help him out. His drawings, he was before CAD, so that was very incredible, some of his drawings. But I just never felt like I wanted to go into that. It felt too confined. And art felt like a way of, I would go to a job every day and enjoy it because there was a new challenge.
Right.
And a lot of times there are challenges, they're not defined until you get to the job.
right?
Dad's still around?
Dad passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was kind of an inspiration. He was a frustrated actor, actually, and singer also. But he had enough of the right brain to be a pretty brilliant draftsman and designer in that realm.
What was his name?
He was Walter Ayers
you're-
Jr. I'm the third, remember?
Very cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that kind of re-emphasized to me that I really wanted to be an artist. And I went to college. I majored in high jumping for a year. I ran track, and
So high jump is not the
that
pole
way,
vault. You're just
and I long jump, which is that way.
Okay.
So I ran track for a year. And
No pole.
No pole.
Okay.
No.
you
I
could
just
probably jump higher. I would.
with a pole you could. More people chasing you. So, dogs.
Southside, right?
Dogs.
Is that was your
barbed wire.
training? The long jump? You just have a couple dogs chase you and.
Yeah, we're going to take you to an abandoned warehouse. So we'll put a bar up at the door. No, and I was majoring in high jump, but I said, I want to pursue my passion. So I had a scholarship. I said, I'm done. I dropped out. I went to art school in Chicago.
Oh wow!
My parents thought I was crazy. I went home and said, yeah, I'm denouncing my scholarship. I'm going to go to art school. So I ended up at an art school in Chicago, and that's what really kind of boomed. That was it.
Yeah, love it. What would you say? Oh, sorry. After you. I've been. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm just excited about the process here.
Do you remember your first job in the
Promotional?
promotional realm? Do you remember when you first got it, or how did you?
Here's an interesting story. A lot of people are like, what is he even talking about? So the interview.
wait, we have a little thing when you tell a story. How's it go? You have to always start it with.
Once upon
Once upon a time.
Okay, thank you. All right, there we go.
So I got this job in the back of the yard for a mirror company. I actually went to a staffing agency and I said, I don't know computers. I need to find a company. So they sent me over there. The interview process, I brought like a portfolio of catalogs and brochures and everything else. Well, it turns out they're a company that would screen print on glass, Silverline, frame, etc. So my interview process was, here's a swivel knife. And a swivel knife is essentially a knife, X-Acto blade, but it has a swivel head. Here's a piece of film. Can you cut the words King of Beer out of film? And that was my interview process, and I did that because I had some background in silk screening, so I was hired on the spot.
Oh, that's
so my first sample, because everybody in the art department was responsible for producing a sample. Someone says you need to do a Budweiser mirror, we would produce the films, shoot the screen print the glass, have it go through the production process, frame it, put it in a box, and send it to the client. My first job was Ham's special draft, and it was this little Ham's beer sign that I actually had to cut film on, and that was my first sample.
So I still remember some of the jingle from Hams.
Oh, we had some
Hams
strange.
is the beer you've been looking for. You remember?
Yeah,
that?
and we had some really strange entryway beer brands like Budweiser Ice. We had Red Dog.
Yeah.
We had some other ones that were kind of
Budweiser Ice. I heard that. Wow.
Yeah, it died.
Yeah.
It died. We made quite a few mirrors for that program,
Yeah,
but
That had been before Bush?
no, it actually was aligned with Bush. Yeah, we had all the wonderful brands like Bush and we had like Natural Light and all the other ones. But anyway, we did basically every brand imaginable, including I think we did the first Samuel Adams promotional mirror. Yeah,
Remember when they first came? They were one of the first
craft beers.
crafts. That's right.
It was amazing because we got.
Wow.
I actually worked on the first sign, and I still see them out in the field. And it's interesting because at the time it was like craft beer was not really known.
Right.
It was almost like, do you want to take a chance on craft beer? Because what is
What
it?
is it? Right.
Yeah. So
And then they went from it took hold and, they talked about micro brews, and now it's like, oh, I love a good macro brew, kind of like a play on the market theme.
I have a love-hate relationship with craft beers because so many of them are aligned towards IPAs and all the special. I call them the foo-foo beers. It's like, what can we put in a beer that's different? Oh, we'll put pumpkin in there. Or
I love Pilsners.
Same.
And a lot of, really, that's
Same.
fascinating. And a lot of the microbrews don't make a Pilsner. Do you know why?
it takes too long.
It takes minimum twice as long to brew a Pilsner because it's cold filtered and all that stuff.
Same for wines. My wife and I are very big wine people because we live in wine country.
Yeah.
In Southwest Michigan, there's like 12 wineries, and a dry red wine is very difficult to make because it takes more time.
Right.
So you'll see a lot of wineries having sweet wines, and
Right.
so anyway, I guess I should probably be in rehab with my history.
So it's interesting to talk about wine. Marty's really good at whining. Being the president, always like, "Are you kidding me? No, not again."
bag with a bottle.
Joking aside, no, that's great. Yeah,
So, I the promotional part of it, licensing part of it, it's exciting. I'm not the guy, we do a lot of, I've done a lot of trade shows in my life, and I always equate, someone says, well, you really must like your products. I said, well, I always say, I don't, bemoan or demean anybody that has a product line that comes to a trade show, but I always say, I thank God I'm not the wire shelving sales guy.
yeah.
Because when I go to trade shows, people say, well, what kind of stuff do you do? And I say, I do licensed products for colleges, NHL, Pepsi Cola, Guinness.
Yeah.
So
Why understanding the manufacturing process is important for designers?
Well, because a lot of designers don't understand that. And I've always been fortunate enough, and I had advice from, ironically, one of my instructors who said, the agency life could be dangerous because if you get an agency job in the city, remember one thing, you could be working on a program or a brand rollout, and then if the brand doesn't do well, they'll get rid of the whole team.
Wow.
And it wasn't unusual for designers to be jumping around 12, 13 stops. And I had a professor that told me, ironically, I think he says, the best thing that you could do is work for a company that makes something. Because it's sort of
Job security.
Job security, because in a position of that, you're always going to have to produce things, and it's not always glamorous because there's the production part of it. A lot of designers, I was art director for a long time, and we would try and interview artists, and I always say, well, this seems like there's a lot of hands-on stuff, and it's a lot of like boring stuff. I'm like, well, that's the job, there's like 20% creativity, and the 80% is to make, I always said, if you're going to design something, make sure that production can make it, because there's plenty of people that have pie-in-the-sky ideas but can't make it.
Can't make it, yeah.
So the production part of it has always been pretty important to me. I said, working for manufacturers, I've always enjoyed the idea of getting my hands dirty and seeing how things are made, and it's particularly in printed graphics. The silvering process in itself is fascinating. And now with us doing acrylic mirrors, it takes it a step further. We don't have a silver line. We're not laying silver down. We actually have large, we call them bells. It's essentially looks like a small submarine. We basically take printed acrylic, we print acrylic, it's clear acrylic. We put it on racks, and then we put aluminum ingots, and they're all attached to little electric things, and electric things. It's real high tech. So we move the rack into the bell, and we reduce to zero vac, hit the electricity, and all the aluminum disperses, and it ends up on the backside.
Is that fascinating?
It ends up on the backside of.
As you were describing that, I envisioned have you ever seen the mercury, the liquid? That's kind of how I envision the.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when you see it go in there, and they said they reduce it to zero vacuum, turn on the electric, disperse aluminum, stick the acrylic, and then when they come back to non-vac, you've got a mirrored piece. Then we put a gray backer on it.
Wow, it's
and
fascinating.
Do finishing.
One of the interesting things too is, when we started doing the logo printing on the bar stools and stuff like that, it was like no matter where we turned or who we talked to, or your name would always come up. It'd
That's
be like,
pretty.
oh,
it
you
was-
know Wally? It's like, okay. It was fascinating.
I want to expand on what you just said.
We're like,
So
who's
when we
this Wally guy?
Yeah, when we first heard it, we heard like a group of people chanting, Wally, Wally. We realized we were in a bar and you were ready to come out on stage. You're
That
wanting
was
an
one. And
encore.
then the one day you were mailing some letters and you saw my picture on the wall, the wanted poster.
Wanted
yeah,
poster.
That's all.
But no, it
too,
was
so.
it was pretty fascinating to, and I'm sharing that with you because
Well, that's-
whatever you've
it's
done
nice
in the
to hear
industry,
that.
it's
Yeah.
you're
Well,
definitely
it's a
known.
large industry, but it's not.
I'm just really curious to add to what Martin was just saying, was that we've been in the industry for over 50 years, and we've been supplying the industry. Now we're kind of in the industry, making more of
Sure.
the creative things. And your name did come up a number of times, and so I'm doing a little digging, and I'm seeing names like American Family. Oh, wow, that's 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Wally was
I was art director.
Okay. Then it was.
So you worked with and for
Yeah,
American
let me finish
No,
my
but I
thoughts.
just want to say,
straight here. I'm going to ask him the question for him to explain it for us.
but I was just going to say, I think that's the first time I met you. I saw you at American Family.
I think I had.
Yeah.
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 Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
could be. Okay.
Couldn't help.
So
but
so
say it.
then
It's just-
then
I know
then,
too.
Then
You
as
can
I
share
was
me if you'd
as
like.
I was going through the process, we've been doing business with Holland Bar Stools for 25, 30 years, long time, and your name popped up there.
Trademark.
Okay. Then do I get to tell the story or what? I
We're
mean, you guys
excited.
are-
You stimulated,
Okay. And so then
and that
hey,
Come on.
That's it. Then we went to Trademark Games. We kind of been through the whole cycle. Your name came up again, and so then now I'm digging. I'm looking around LinkedIn, different things. So I got to reach out. I got to call you. I sent you email, sent you a call, talked to a couple people. Who's this guy?
I saw I had been following you guys on LinkedIn and have watched your podcasts, and I think I might have dropped you a note one day
you
and
did.
said,
Yeah.
you guys should do mirrors.
yeah. But tell us this. Tell us
Well,
your
here's
journey.
here's how it
because
started. I was
yeah,
working for
it's fascinating.
I was working
okay?
for the glass company in Chicago. They actually merged with a company called Windcraft, and they all moved to Minnesota. They wanted me to move to Minnesota. I said I'd really not really doing it. I had a small child. I got a job for another mirror company in Chicago. We were doing promotional mirrors, and ironically, and this is going to set a trend because every company I work for, they go out of business. No,
Lovely.
guys, want me to continue?
well, on that, we
Anyway.
want to just thank you all
Yeah, where's
for
the
this.
fire alarm?
Appreciate
I
you
think
coming
it's over
out.
there. Yeah, really.
Where's the door?
So
Oh, look at the time. Yeah. So
I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work for Budweiser. I actually would go down to Anheuser-Busch on a regular basis, and I actually was allowed to go into the archives and take pictures.
Wow.
So I would reproduce some of the old archival signs that they didn't want. There was only one that existed. So we would make beers out of them. So one of my contacts down there, after the company, the beer company that I was working for, decided that they were not going to make mirrors anymore. And they were a local company, GTC International. You're probably familiar with them. But anyway, I had a bunch of purchase orders. I had designed about 10 or 12 mirrors for Budweiser. And my contact down in St. Louis said, wow, well, this is interesting. You don't have anybody to make this stuff. She says, well, I know of a company on the southwest suburbs, American Family Products. Yeah. So I drove out there one day, and I had an armful of purchase orders. I said, you guys do mirrors? And they're like, we do now.
that's awesome.
So, and then they said, well, did you design these mirrors? I go, yeah. Oh, do you want to do some design for furniture? And that's how I got into the whole fan cave experience. I was a mirror guy. Then I become a home bar and entertainment, fan cave guy.
In the introduction, I transitioned fan cave to man cave just
Yeah,
to
we
make
can't
it
call it
more,
man cave.
No, but I mean just to kind of get the communication out there. But officially, it's fan cave.
Right.
So yeah.
An American Family, the owner tragically got brain cancer and died. But the general manager and I decided we didn't want to just stop the process. We actually, it was another story. I did a lot of wildlife mirror designs for Miller, and the contacted Miller said, well, okay, so now what's going on? So I said, well, we're starting a company called ADG. We started on the south side, Bedford Park, and it was business as usual. Corvette, Miller, Budweiser, and fan cave products, including mirrors. And then we were actually a partner. We had a partner from Trademark Global.
Oh, wow.
And
Very nice.
we did pretty well the first year. On the south side, he decided it would be better if we had it all under one roof in Lorain, Ohio. So the good news was the business did really well. The bad news is I did it for about a year. I was driving out to Ohio and working from home when I wasn't in Ohio, and just got tired of it. I had a young daughter, and just didn't have any plans of moving to Ohio. So I ended up starting to do some work on a contract basis for Holland Barstool because of that whole thing. They knew me. I knew of them.
Yeah.
They had been in our plant at American Family, so I was with them.
So it sounds like through the evolution, you're kind of like going up. I mean, you're here at Trendler. You're like, you hit the top.
I've hit the, I mean, there's the ceiling right there. So one of the tiles is missing. So apparently
We
there's
did that
more
for
up
you
there.
because we knew you were so tall.
That's
we didn't want you
very
bumping your-
accommodating. Very accommodating. But no, it's funny because you mentioned how my name keeps coming up. But ironically, this industry, let's be honest, there's been casualties to mirrors, signage, printers, furniture guys. There's been a lot of casualties, and I think what I find is the surviving, center points are the people.
Yeah.
So a company doesn't last, but you've got to put food on the table and your livelihood. And I have always networked with my contacts and my clients, and I've always been able to land on my feet. And really, the common goal through all that was just the continuity of being able to keep, creating artwork and trying to stay in,
Which
relevant.
is your love.
Yeah.
Love it. With the interest of time, we kind of want to, unfortunately, start wrapping this
Yeah,
down.
so-
I would like to say you are, a dynamic, fascinating.
Icon.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
And so, considering the content and how much we can talk about, certainly love to have the opportunity to have you back.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'll bring
So-
some more toys, too.
Very nice. Very nice. Love it. Some of those Miller mirrors would be kind of cool. Just saying.
Yeah, I know that.
The reason why my mom's favorite beer is Miller High Life.
My mom's, too.
Oh, no, wait. Look at that.
We were kids growing
kindred
up in
spirits.
Oak Lawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my mom would yell at us kids to go play, and she'd get her a can of Miller Lite and her little bowl of doodads, which is a snack that's no longer around. But there was my mom drinking Miller
Were
Lite.
they like a bugle?
It was
doodads?
kind of like a Chex Mix. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So that was my
I've
mom.
had doodads. They're actually
Yeah.
really good.
So that was my mom.
Very nice. Yeah. So, yeah.
So one of the key things I just want to get on in this exchange here is your skill with and your knowledge of licensing products.
Yeah.
We've looked at it. We're not doing any licensing at this time, and it seems a little bit overwhelming. We're great manufacturers.
It can be.
And having someone, how would for us to get into licensing, is that a logical next step as a furniture manufacturer?
It is. If you're in the promotional products business, which you are, the natural inclination then is to try and do some things that are licensed. Because honestly, it gives you instant credibility. When I got it secure, the first thing I did was call my contact at Pepsi, and I said, is there a chance we could get the license? And again, a lot of my getting the license was my past.
Right.
I was working with an agency in New York that had the Corona Modelo license and several others, which I had gotten through Holland Barstool. And so I was naturally able to get the license. I knew the way it works, brand sensitivity, color, logo, proper logo use, et cetera, submission processes and everything else. So, I mean, there are some things, but it's not daunting.
Yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah, and so add on the instant credibility. You're a manufacturer, you get into licensing. Expand on that.
Well,
a
you go
little
to
bit.
promotional shows, correct?
Correct.
Right. So you go to promotional shows and you're showing your products, and I'm sure you're doing a lot of custom work for
Yep.
a variety of customers. You have a Pepsi license, Pepsi tables, mirrors, whatever, clocks. It's a step above just doing promotional products, because basically you're acting as an authorized manufacturer for brands but with a licensed product, you're the guy.
Yeah.
How many companies actually that manufacture do the licensing percentage wise? Like,
I would say anybody that manufactures, I would say 75%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or more.
Yeah.
It just depends on the products, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, with that, I
Yeah.
think this has been a wonderful episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks
really,
for,
I
thanks for joining us.
really,
It's a fascinating
really,
story. It's
I
a
look forward to getting better acquainted and
Oh,
knowing you
absolutely,
more.
absolutely. And I love talking the story, because that talks the story.
right.
Yeah, and so wrapping up, my conclusion is it's kind of like, I'm sure the series Mad Men. Have you ever seen that? Mm-hmm. They probably benchmarked that off of you, right? That was a great series.
Yeah, because it's really old, and here I am. You know.
Great. Awesome. Okay. Any other closing comments?
yeah,
anyone?
I would just like to say that thanks for coming out today and taking the
absolutely.
time, your busy
Absolutely.
schedule. But love seeing your passion, your skill set for doing really creative things. This is the beginning of a long-term, mutually beneficial relationship for us.
That's why I'm here.
feel a sense of-
That's why I'm here. I think
Amen,
I can
brother.
help you
Amen.
guys, and you guys can help me satisfy my creativity and keep me relative. Like I said, I'm never planning on retiring. I just love doing artwork. So
Just magnificent.
Did you get a chance to look at the book?
I
Did you like it?
I did.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
What book did you mention?
Tell him I gave him the book on Live.
I can't remember the title, but you gave
Live to be 156 years old.
Yeah, and it basically
So what are you saying? You're close. Well, how about
We're the same. We're the same age.
I'm right behind him. So
Yeah. We're the same zip code.
if he falls, I'll pick him up, and then you guys
Awesome.
can follow. So.
Yeah, well, amen. Well, thank you. That concludes another episode of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty, where family, future success, and business converge. So please watch us on
Spotify,
LinkedIn,
YouTube.
Facebook,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wally, thank you for
Thank you
All right,
for
man.
having me. It's been great.
Thank
Cool.
you. Till
Thank
next
you.
time.
Okay.